Today we have a theory part to cover the select query, guys. Now there are too many things, okay, too many things to add to code in this query, guys. In this query, there are too many things to code, but I cannot tell you all of them. I cannot tell you all of them because none of them will be used very regularly. I can tell you, I can tell you how to start your query, how to start coding a query and how to use some concept, okay, when to use some important concepts like when you need to go for the joins, when you need to go for unions, when you need to go for subqueries, when you need to go for a group by. I'll tell you the reason when you should go. Now in the interview or in the project, if such situation comes, then you need to use them. So when you're writing a select query, guys, okay, when you're writing a select query here, there are three aspects that you need to do. Okay, three things to consider. First thing here is the columns. Okay, first thing is to select the columns. First main thing of writing a select query itself is to select the columns only first. Second thing, once you selected the columns, you're going to need to select the tables as required. Of course, now this is very easy. The second part is easy. Third part is you to select the rows. Select the rows. If you are preparing any select query and if you go by these three steps, the query might be very much easy to complete. Okay, the query will be very much easy to complete. So if I want to select the columns, select the columns here, there are different categories. First one, what you do is select, give a star, select with a star, which means all columns, means all columns. But you can write the second syntax and select column 1, column 2 as well. This is you are interested only in two columns of the table, two columns of the tables. Okay, these are two simple things. Now let's go to the other category. Select count of star. Now this is very much interestingly used, guys. This is used to get to get the count of result rows in a result set, rows in a result set. So this is help you to know how many records are there in a table. This can help you how many values are there for a particular column. So select count of star will give the total record count or total records that are getting in your output. The other one that you are interested here is distinct of select distinct of column name. So this one will give you, okay, the output, guys, will show only the unique record, shows only the unique records from the table column, from the table column. You can add 2 or 3 columns also, but if you want to see what all the unique columns you have, you can mention distincts of column name there. Now, the other one what we have here is select with a aggregate function or a built-in function. That means already there. You come on. Built-in function here, built-in function here. So this function, guys, are of three categories. If it is related to alphanumeric, guys, if it is related to alphanumeric, you can use a type of like substring. You can create a substring. You can rename the columns. You can concatenate the columns as well. If it is for numeric, guys, if it is for numerics, it will be using for minimum, maximum, sum of the columns, average of the column like this. And if it is related to date, guys, if it is related to date or time or timestamp as these things, the first thing is you can use current date. It's a function, guys. It's a current date or current time or current timestamp. This will help you to get the current date and current time. But if I want only the year, guys, okay, there is a date, but I don't want the date. I want only the year of the date. Then you need to use the functions like this: year of some date, current date or current time, month of, day of, like this. You can use the hours, minutes, seconds as well, but generally we don't. I have never used hours and minutes like this, but these functions will help you to get. There is one point that I can train you on this one, guys. Okay, there is only one point that I can train you here. When you're using aggregate function, guys, the result will be always only one value. Always only one value, guys. Which means if I have a value of 10, 20, 30, nulls, 40, and 50 like this. If I have a value like this, guys, if I have a value like this, if I ask for minimum, guys, I'll be getting the 10. If I ask for maximum, guys, I'll be getting 50 there. I won't get two results, guys. When you say minimum, you get only one value as your output. If you say maximum, you get only one value as output. If you say sum also, it will add them all and give only one value as output. These built-in functions are very much tricky to remember. Okay, apart from others, guys, you can remember others, you can forget others, no problem. I want you to remember this one. Okay, the functionality of the minimum maximum functionality here. This fellow when used in any select query, they will try to give only one row value. And second point I would also add to your knowledge here is these functions ignore the null values. As you can see, I have given a null value in my example. When I asked for minimum, it gave 10. When I asked for maximum, it gave 50. Null values are neither small nor big. Neither null values are zeros or something. So these are ignored completely. Okay, listen carefully one more time. I'm trying to train you one of the simple thing that how you should start your SQL select query. For that, you always start thinking about three aspects. What are the columns you need? What are the columns you need? Anil, I need all the columns. Yes, you select star. Anil, I'm interested only in selecting columns. You can mention that. I want to know number of rows. The functions which will come here is this count of star is pretty useful to know how many records are there in a particular table. Distinct is also very much used for your analysis purpose to see what kind of data you are having. Built-in functions other than these two, other built-in functions for string handling, for numeric handling, and for date and time handling, there are functions. So in your interview question or in your project, when you are having a question related to a particular output of minimum, maximum, or dates, you need to remember that there are functions already in select. Which function to use, you can Google at that time and then explore a little bit better. This is how you start preparing the query, and the fifth part is important, which I want you to remember. Of course, I would say everything, but try to remember the fifth part. And sixth part is highly important. Sixth part is highly important. You have a select query with a column name and with a function. Now this is the trick to remember. Okay, I don't know whether I got this trick myself in my experience or I learned in my college days. I don't know that, but this is the first trick that you need to remember from my training to you. Anytime you have a column with aggregate function, okay, anytime you have a column with an aggregate function, guys, in this case, we must use group by. We must use group by. Why so? Let me tell you. Anytime you use a column, okay, simple example, anytime you use a column, guys, you get multiple rows. Anytime you use an aggregate function, guys, you get only one row. Multiple rows, one row is not a table. Okay, the structure will not be formatted, guys. When you have a column with multiple rows, when your function is giving only one row, you cannot create a table structure there. So what we do is we will use the group by. We will use the group by for each group of this column, one aggregate function. So if I give an example here, okay, if I want to give an example, a generic example, guys, I want to know all the department names, department IDs or department numbers. I can write like this, select DPT number, college example from the table name. This will give me department 1, department 2, department 3 like this. More values, okay? Multiple values, multiple values. The second thing what I have here is I want to know the maximum salary or sum of the salary also, max or anything, salary of the employees. So I will get select max of salary from the table name. Now what happens? I get some 1000. That is only one value. Now if I want to write like this, I want to know the maximum salary of each department. This word is important. English point of clue. This is the clue. When you see your interview question with a word called each, that itself is group by. That itself is group by, guys. This word itself will tell you. So I want to know the maximum salary for each department. Then what I'll do is I'll write like this. Select department name, max of salary. So department name will give 4 or 5 records. Maximum salary will give only one row. So this will not be a combination. So what I'll tell the system is from the table name, group by department number or name, whatever it is. Sorry, number or name, anything. Now what system will do is it will start grouping the records. Okay, all the department 1 will be grouped. What is the maximum? All the department number 2 will be grouped. What is the maximum? All the department 3 will be grouped, and what is the maximum? Like this. Of the whole, the entire table, this is the maximum salary. But I want to get the maximum salary for each department. That word itself will tell you that you have to group it by that column. If you want to have multiple columns, you should group by multiple columns here. Okay, if you want to group for multiple columns, put them here and put them here as well. So the tricks are there, guys. There are a lot of tricks are there. Couple of tricks is what you need to remember is these functions. When these functions are getting involved, your query will change a little bit here and there. Okay, these functions are important to remember. These functions are completely important to remember, guys. Now, this is a trick to remember column plus function. When you are preparing an interview question, when you are preparing a select query in the interview, column plus aggregate function, guys. Column plus aggregate function is what important. Okay, column plus aggregate function is important. Now, the seventh point, okay, you may not imagine, guys, there are 7 things to discuss on the column level only. I did not come to the second piece. The seventh one is very much important. I have a column 1 from table 1. I want to get column 2 from table T2. Now, this will lead you to the concept of joins. When you have, okay, this is the thing, guys, this is the thing. I will not train you what is join, guys. I'm not gonna jump like that. Okay, nobody will tell you to use a join in your training. Okay, in the interview, they may ask you what is joins. Now you can prepare a book answer and tell them, they will be happy. That point is completed. In the project, guys, they will not tell you that use joins. You need to know when you have to use the joins. So the answer for when to use, like I said, I will tell you when to use the important concepts. You're gonna use the group by when you have this kind of syntax getting prepared in your query. You're gonna use the joins when you have a columns from different tables. When you have columns from different tables. So if you are using this scenario, if you are into this particular scenario, the joins, whenever I say joins, guys, we want the column data from two tables. So you may have a table T1. Okay, we have column 1, column 2 like this. You have some table T2, which is also having some column 1, column 3, column 4. My point here is there must be one common column. Okay, the point here is both tables must be having a common column. It could be same name or it could be different name, but common column is required. Common column is required. In example, column 1 is as an example here. Okay, as an example, we are consider column 1 as your common column. Now what I want to do is I want to get the data of column 1 and 2 plus column 3 and 4 also. Okay, I want to get the data of column 1 and 2 and column 3 and 4 as well. If that is the situation, if you need the data of columns from multiple tables, then you need to go and use the join there. Don't use the join. When you join here, guys, it will be one table. Assume like this. Assume like this. This is a table 3, which will contain like this column 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what join means. That's what join means. System will assume like this. When you say system to join, when you tell the query, when you write the query with a join word, system will imagine like this. Now you can tell the system what you are interested to select. You can select saying that table T1 column 1, table T2 column 2, column 1. You can mention like this column 2, table T3 column 3, table T3. Oh, come on, I'm giving wrong numbers. Sorry for that. T2, T1 and T2. Okay, T1 and T2. T2 dot column 4. So you told the system which columns are of which table belonging to from the table names. So you'll be writing table T1. Okay, one table name. Give the table name with T1 as the tag. Join table name as T2. So now system knows which columns you want from table T1, which columns you want from table T2. Now when you're joining here, the same query, you'll need to write a condition here. Need to write a condition here where you write T1 dot column 1 equal to T1 T2 dot column 1. So this is the comparison here. This is the matching condition. Okay, this is the matching condition for here. But sometimes what happens is you can choose the type of the joins also. You can choose the type of the joins as well. One of the join what we use regularly is inner join, where you want to matching rows. One which you go for is outer join. So when you say inner join, guys, this condition, okay, this condition what is there, only the matching rows will be your result. Okay, that's what join of inner. Okay, when you say inner join with this condition, what all the records are that are matching, only those will be your result. If you say outer join, you have still again to split them into left and right because of your tables. But basically, we don't use any left or right. Only one is enough. This is to get the matching rows of both tables. What all the records are getting matching, get the matching row data of both the tables plus the unmatching data of your left table. Left in the sense the first one. Left in the sense the first one here. Now this is just a general knowledge, guys. This is just a general knowledge here that if you are doing a join, sometimes you want all the data of both the tables only by matching. Sometimes you want all the data which is matching and unmatching as well. So if you are looking for only matching rows in your query, you simply write join syntax there. But Anil, I want to get the left table full data and I want to get only the matching rows as well. Then you need to write as the left join. System will understand that. The question here, guys, I'm not explaining what is the join story is. I'm not at all explaining what is joins here. I'm explaining you here is when you are writing a query and you need columns from different tables, then you need to come to the joins. Moreover, in the interview, okay, guys, if the question starts with two tables, question is starting with two tables, guys, there are three possibles in this one. First possible is the joins. Okay, that means the interviewer must ask the question for column selections. He must be pointing that I'm interested in column. If he use this word for a two table story question, join is the answer what you have to tell them. But if you say the union, Okay, this generally we don't in interview they won't ask you this question unless they don't ask you first join part. This one guys they must ask the question for rows. Okay, if they tell that Anil I want some data from table 1, I want data from table 2, I want rows from table 1, I want rows from table 2. So if that is the question, then you should go and talk about union. The last thing which they may ask you here is about two tables is a subquery. A subquery. This is also place where you get the two table scenario. I'll explain it. I'll come down here where to use subquery. But for now, you need to understand these 7 aspects of selecting the column. In that, first two are the one which you use in the regular project level style. These things are little rare, guys. Okay, these things are little rare. It won't be so common in your project. Okay, in my experience, one of the project was hectically on the DB2 query optimization. So I took some time in learning all these things. But apart from that single project, guys, almost all my other 7 to 8 projects which I worked, they don't need this kind of level of understanding. So don't need to worry if you don't have SQL knowledge so far in a good level, don't worry about that. Your DB2 remaining answers should be correct. Okay, for your interview purpose, if your query preparation is not so good in format, don't need to worry. Your remaining DB2 is COBOL queries, load unload questions or SQL code questions which you have, those should be proper answered. If this is your drawback, the remaining thing should be very much strong. Now, these are the 7 points that you need to remember selecting the columns. I elaborate a little bit on the select the tables here. Now this is easy, guys. Okay, this is easy. You'll have one table, that is you write from table name, easy. Then you have two tables, okay, two or more tables here. And the cases will be only one case, that is on the joins, okay, only one case. When you're writing the from keyword, guys, when you're writing the from keyword, the from keyword can point out to only one table or multiple tables. You can write one table like this from table name simply, okay. But if you have more than one table here, the only single case is using joins only, okay. In the case of joins only, you will be using this multiple tables, and there are two syntaxes for this. Okay, there are two syntaxes for this, One, as I told you like this, table T1 joins table T2 with an on condition, on table T1 column equal to table T2 column 1. So this is the join actual syntax. But in the project, we are very smart in the project. Okay, we are very smart in the project. We'll write the same query like this, table T1 comma table T2. We don't use any join syntax there. We write the same syntax in different way. Table T1 comma table T2 with a where condition, T1 dot column 1 equal to T2 dot column 1. Whatever is there in on, I have put it in where. Whatever is using as a join, I connected them with a comma. So these two syntaxes are related to join only. This is the regular syntax of the SQL. This is the project style syntax of the SQL. I did not see any difference in performance. Okay, I tested in this particular way. I tested in this particular way. I have not seen any difference in the performance of two tables. But if you have multiple tables, the where conditions will be easy to write. Okay, this is easy to write. This is to follow the standard. So when it is to select, you need to select the columns. Then you need to select the tables with a from keyword. And when you're using the from keyword, either you can mention one table name or more than one table name. If it is more than one table name, your syntax can be either with a join syntax like this or without a join syntax like this. Both are same output, both will perform better, but I seen many examples in this way rather than in this way. Okay, so if there is no join keyword, don't consider that. If there are two tables, then itself is a join concept. The last piece what I have in my mind, guys, select the rows of the data. Okay, so if you write like this, select star from table name. If you start writing like this, table name, it means all rows. This is the first category that you want to get all the rows. But not always you want all the rows in any scenario, guys. Most of the case you want to get a certain selected rows only. Most of the case we are interested to get only selected rows, guys. So how do I do a selecting rows? How do I do a selecting rows here? So first option what you have here is the where condition. The very first option what I have here is the where condition, guys. In the where condition, you can use the operator. You can use an operator like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. I want you to remember this one. This is not equal, guys. Okay, this is the symbol for not equal. This one. Now, in the where condition, guys, in the where condition, we use certain operators like operator. This is a like operator which is used for a pattern matching, guys. Okay, a pattern matching like this. You can write like this, where department name is like ABC some percentage. So system will give all the department name which are matching with this particular syntax. Percentage is a wild character. It will try to match anything. Okay, it will get anything that is starting with this character of AN. Like in my case, I'll be getting my name like this. Now, apart from that, you have one more operator for the range bound. Okay, this is for range bound between passes. So you can write this condition like this: some average marks greater than or equal to 100 and average marks less than or equal to 200. If you have like this, you can write like this: average marks between 100 and 200. Both are same syntaxes. Both are same syntaxes here. The other operator that we use is in operator. Very interesting. Very interesting here. This is to match multiple values. This is to match multiple values. I may write like this, where the branch code, okay, the branch code equal to A or B or C, like this I can write it. If this is not the proper syntax, or I can write like this: branch code in A, B and C, like this also here. Now, this is the place where we are very much interested in the where condition, guys. Sometimes the condition value in where also, not only in where also, here is the subqueries. The subquery will come in the where condition, guys. Remember this one. The the subquery will be coming only in the where condition scenario only. Don't think about this one unless you come to the where condition. What happens here is you have a column name, and you need a value here to compare. You need a value here to compare. If this value can come from another table or from another query, guys, then you need to use the subquery there. Then you need to write like this: column name equal to select column name from table T2 with a where condition to select here. So whatever the output you got for this particular query, will be used as the input for this program query, this particular query. So this is called your subquery. Okay, a query within another query is your subquery. A query within another query, guys, is your subquery, which means if you run this query, what are the output you are getting? What all the output you are getting here, that will be acting as an input for this one. Now remember this same query in two ways. Because we know the select fellow, okay, the select fellow, it may give one row output, it may give many rows output. If it is one row output, this is the syntax. If it is many rows, the answer is in. Okay. Single equal is for one value. Okay, the one value compare, one value output, guys. Okay, and then here you have multiple values. Here you are expecting multiple values of output there. So if it is only for one value, write an equal symbol and you can use it. The condition will decide. If your condition satisfying more than one value and you are expecting there will be more values of this column, then you need to use the in keyword, which will work like this. Either you can write an operator like this with a single one, or you can use an in case when you're having to match with multiple values. Believe me, guys, you will never find any video or any class explaining all these things in a single class. No way. You can search the whole YouTube channel anywhere, guys. Not even my channel also, I'll tell you all these things. In my only for students training, I give detailed explanation how to write a select query, selecting the columns. You have seen the operator. This is the easy one, what we do always. But these are not the only ones that you need to learn. You need to know where to use some special concepts. Regular concepts, anyone can tell you. Special concepts like this subquery, joins or unions, you need to figure out exactly where to use it. So this value, when you're typing a where condition, and when you come to this value, if you notice this value is not in my current table, this value is there in some other table or some other way, then you start understanding the subqueries at that point. And I'm telling you, there are two cases. When you're writing select query, the condition may select only one row, the select query may select multiple rows. I don't know. So if it is for one row scenario, use equal symbol. If it is for multiple row scenario, use the in case. Use the in case there. Got it? Not done. It's not done, guys. Where condition is the only piece of rows, but once the data is selected, would you like to group by? Would you like to group by? Yes or no? Yes or no? So this will, as I told you, this will depend on your column plus function syntax. As I told you already, you need to remember the column plus aggregate function. Then having clause. Having is also a condition, guys. This is like a where condition. Okay, like a where condition here, but will filter data from result set. Filter data from result set and must be used after group by only. Okay, must be used after group by only. Now what is this here is, let's see the example here. This is my output of group by, guys. This is my output of group by. After this output, I want to know, which department is having more than 3,000 as the maximum salary. After getting this output, I want to write a filter condition there. You have a table. This is your table. For writing a condition on a table, you will be using where clause. Okay, to write a condition on a table, you will use the where clause. But to write a condition on the result of the output, you will be using having clause. And of course, don't worry, very, very rarely you will use it. Very, very rarely you will use it. Don't worry about that. So you got the data. You are thinking to group by or not, optional. And then other thing what I need to tell you is order by. Now this is for sorting, guys. This is for sorting by the key fields or by the any field there. Finally, you have for fetch first one row only, one or 10 rows only. Now this, guys, this is used to get only a few rows. Okay, the table may contain many rows, but you are just verifying the query is working fine or not. So you write a query and you tell to fetch only one row. If the query is successful, then remove this one and start getting all the rows from the process. So this will be used for your analysis purpose. This is for your analysis purpose. And of course, to ignore the duplicates, ignore the duplicate rows as well. But I don't recommend it. Okay, I don't use it. Okay, because this will Two rows will not be always duplicated, guys. It will be having some difference always. The last thing what I have in my mind here is, this is not selecting rows or anything, guys, the lock part. Okay, as we know, by default, we may go for cursor stability as a lock, cursor stability as a lock. Now, when you're writing the query in your tools, guys, when you're writing the query in the tools, you need to keep zero locks. You need to keep a zero lock on your queries. For that, what you do is, you write your select query, select star from table name. You want to write all the conditions here, Finally, you write like this with the UR, which is uncommitted read. This is optional, no need to mandatory remember here. Just in case if you want to unlock, you don't want to lock any rows, then you can write that with the UR concept there. Now, this is the whole set of knowledge that you should be having. And as I told you, within 30 minutes of a training, guys, I cannot make you an expert in select query. There is no way. You're going to need to work days of query practice. When you are preparing the query, this information is the base. This information is the ultimate data or concepts or tricks to use. Using this context, you can prepare a query as to the mid-level. By making some errors and other things of your experience, you will get to know the full query. So this is the starting point of writing a select query, guys.